Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's time for game 2 now between TNC and Liquid. Lizard, what do you expect to see from this one? Liquid, they were able to run over the first game pretty quickly. Bit of a different approach, right? We're falling back onto the Morphling, something that they've proven to be very, very strong with. Mickey, one of his best heroes. And as the panel said, it looks like a pretty good Morph game.
It looks like a comfort zone for both of these teams. Elimination, and you have Morphling on one side, you have Pango, Boxy. Boxy in that last series, man, he was on fire with his Pangolier. He was doing 3-man rolls every single time. He also found that clumsy net that allowed him to continuously stun targets. He was really good. I was thinking Morphling or Broodmother as the last pick for Liquid. And they go with the Morphling. I think that matchup suits them really well. You're playing versus an IX, why not?
And for TNC, obviously, as talked about during the draft, they don't really have the best sort of lockdown and catch. It's all on the Disruptor. Why?
Okay.
Why? For TNC, how are they going to make action happen? How are they going to make plays with only Disruptor being the sole sort of lockdown?
This is the thing. They have insane sustain on their side. There's the Abaddon and there's the Chen as well. Then you have TA and Nikes. These heroes have super early power spikes which they can use to push down and take down objectives. Then you don't need catch for that. As they're trying to defend, if Liquid tries to defend towers, you have that glimpse to catch them off guard, to bring them back to the tower, take them together with those objectives. I think the lineup sets a straight strategy for TNC, which they have to follow. But if they stray a little bit, if Mickey finds a couple of extra kills and space to farm, he can just be a beast in this game.
And in terms of the lanes at the start, is there a particular lane that you feel that TNC is going to have quite an edge in?
I think the lanes are pretty solid for Liquid overall. You have Oracle once again on Insania. They really value this pick quite a lot, specifically versus the Disruptor, because you just purge his Thunderstrike and the hero isn't nearly as strong as he should be. So if you're TNC, probably you need to move that Disruptor away from the Oracle. But the lanes should be all right for them. No stomps. I don't see any stomps happening here in the laning stage.
Yeah, I mean, because in the mid-matchup, Koifa versus Armel, we saw Koifa in that last game have a bit of a slow start against Armel's Lina. This Lesh versus TA, is there a way that you see this one going?
Nah, I think Koifa will be completely fine. TA, it's a normal TA matchup in which she gets a couple of items, go back into the jungle, gets that Desolator, just continues farming. I don't see him really being contested too much in the laning stage.
Do you think it's going to be a problem for TNC that they do have, like, you know, with the... Koifa's got to be careful, they're taking a few side blades. But having Armel, TA, and this Gabby lifesteal, I mentioned both of these heroes, there's going to be this early point of the game where they're both going to want to farm, right? They're not going to be that ready to fight that early on.
They might... That can happen, definitely. It also depends on the lifestealer and the way he itemizes. We have seen a couple of straight Maelstroms, but he can also go phase boots Maelstrom. And with those two items, when you have support from Abaddon and all the Chen creeps, the Chen heal, you're already able to help out in the pushes. So I think they shouldn't be struggling way too hard when it comes to the power spikes and their timings.
Okay, well, we'll see how quickly Liquid are able to start bringing the fight to them, as obviously they themselves will want to be buying a lot of space and time for Mickey's Morph in the early half of this game.
You can see the lane stage on the middle lane. Armel has a couple of extra denies, which is to be expected, and he is doing quite well versus Koifa, all on the back of those Psyblades constantly connecting, but Armel, he's just super talented.
He's going to get the help of Tim's coming in as well, picks up an Arcane Rune, so we'll have a few Thunder Strikes to spam onto Koifa, and indeed in a lane far away from the Oracle, so those Thunder Strikes will be effective to maximum.
One really decent thing for Liquid is the fact that Pango can solo lane. And because of that, it frees up this Shaker to rotate across the map, go mid or perhaps even bottom. I think that might favor Liquid quite heavily.
Yeah, trading pretty evenly with Gabby in that 1v1, 7-for-1 on Gabby, 6-for-2 on Boxy, so pretty close between the two of them. The regen does get sniped away. Tim's able to get in and stop that from getting out to Koifa in the middle lane, so we'll have to play very carefully. You can see Tim's as well. Yeah, they're playing aggressive now. They know that Koifa hasn't got regen available.
They're really focusing on Koifa a lot. And I like this from TNC. If they're to win this second game, they need to pressure Koikwa quite a lot.
Boxy there nearly catching Gabby, but Gabby able to juke it out, heads out of the trees, doesn't get clipped. The mid lane, Armel diving in.
This is not the way.
Far too aggressively. I mean, I'm sure Koikwa didn't have regen. Armel wanted to punish it, but diving like that and giving up first blood, that was not the plan.
But that's all about this Shaker. He's not on the top lane because he doesn't have to assist the Pango. It frees up the map for him to rotate, and he comes mid while the TA is diving, helps out Koikwa, and they get that first blood. It's so important for Koikwa to be that stable front-lining wall for the side of Liquid, because he will be the one creating space for Morphling comes mid-game. He needs to be the playmaker. He needs to be the one that pressures objectives, and he needs to be the one that the game is revolved around.
Now Tim's just going to continue his wanders across the map. We'll now go back up top, help Gabby a little bit, who sure was farming safely, but at the same time wasn't able to really slow down what Boxy was getting out of the lane. This off-lane Pango having that solo lane and solo farm very easily.
Yep. Things have changed when it comes to the offlane Pango since he has been added to the game. He had really low attack damage. He's been buffed a little bit, but most importantly, he has that swashbuckle to work with, as always. And if you try to commit a couple of heroes on that lane, he'll just creep skip, and it's just not good for you.
Back in the mid lane, despite that early death, you see Armel's CS continues to be very far ahead of that of Koikwa's. 24 and 12 against the 14 for 3. Armel, once again, he's when he gets to sort of this level 5 stage of the matchup, he just seems to come out on top pretty much in most of the situations against Koikwa.
I didn't expect him to completely dominate Koikwa the way he's managed to. Maybe the network isn't too far apart because of that first blood.
Koikwa. Again, it's Armel he's playing it perfectly with the aggression. Sure, other than that very aggressive dive and giving up the kill, overall it hasn't really mattered because of how well he's pushing Koikwa away from the lane and keeping Koikwa in a situation where he's having to constantly ferry regen out to himself.
All 4 bounty runes taken by TNC as well.
You can see that already 5 minutes in. It's a 2k lead for TNC because of how well they're out farming Liquid in the lanes. That mid lane being the biggest difference at the moment. We saw obviously at the end of the game, it didn't matter too much that Koikwa had a slow start. We'll see if that's going to be the same case this game, as you can expect that Armel on the TA, this is a hero that he can take over the game on. So Liquid have got to be a little worried that this TA is having such a good time in that middle lane.
They're trying to pressure Mickey here, but it's not really happening. He still has around 30 CS. He has 2 raid bands. I believe the third one might be flying over as well, and after that he can even fight you off or kill you if you're Chen on Abaddon. They have to be careful from this moment onwards as he hits super hard. Not trying to get those tags, but he's just baiting, that's all. After he gets that next item, I believe he will try to move on to the aggressive even on this bottom lane.
They can look for the play on mid, looking to try and catch Armel. They've blocked him off with the Fisher. They head in with the stun. TPs will be coming in to try and save Armel. He's running away, and it looks like they don't have the damage to take him down. KP, he offers up a shield, and Armel will be fine. They did not have enough control and damage between the two of them on Liquid to get the kill done, and Armel would just continue to completely free farm and dominate this mid lane.
40 CS. That's just insane. He's doing super well. He's going to have that Desolator and Blink Dagger on time, and that's important for TNC, because you were wondering about their ability to reach those power spikes on time.
It's speeding up already for TNC. To have a 3k lead at 7 minutes, this sort of pressure, it's definitely going to be scary for this Morphling lineup.
Mickey needs to be careful. This is one of the most annoying creeps to get his Chen. He has the Harpy, and with those nukes, even though they're not as strong as before, they can take down the Morphling if he's low on strength.
Koikwa in the jungle. I mean, Tim's is going to find him.
He tried to glimpse him away from the jelly.
He's going to be able to mess with Koikwa a little bit. Koikwa is going to try and chase, as he knows that Tim's alone cannot quite kill him off, but still Tim's being a bit of a nuisance for Koikwa, as Koikwa tried to get some peace and quiet in the jungle.
Just check the network. 3 cores of TNC, 1k ahead of their respective opponent heroes. Yeah,
it couldn't have gone any better, really, these lanes. TNC, after such a great start, every single lane allowing their cores to benefit massively. And that is the scare, that's the power of TNC's lineup. As you say, sure, they don't have a lot of catch, but when it comes to just grouping up and pushing, it could be hard for Liquid's heroes to deal with that.
That's the thing as well. You see this Chen, he's 2k net worth, he's rushing that mech. You're going to have mech Chen, his ulti, you're going to have Abaddon. They will just become a snowball machine very, very soon if Liquid doesn't make some moves and change the state of the game.
And mid lane, Liquid, they're going to try and make a play again. They're going for the lead in, they can't quite get in under the tower. Tiger throws out the Fisher, but they can't get on top of Tims. Tims staying right by the tier 1. He'll head over, find Armel, but now Armel, he's just going to turn onto Tiger. Tims will have the damage and control as Tiger, he's going to fall. Armel able to get the last touch, so more gold to propel him towards what's going to be an incredibly fast Deso timing this game. And top lane, I mean, Gabby, he's just diving in onto Boxy, past the tower. Boxy's trying for the Duke, he's got Swashbuckle back up, so we'll be fine. But yeah, Liquid, they're definitely seemingly very weak in all aspects of the game so far. Across the map, it's hard for them to make moves happen because of how far TNC are ahead.
The problem that I see coming for them as well is the fact that they're weak. They didn't do the laning stage properly, and because of that, this position 4 will not have space to find his farm. I wonder when will the Shaker find that Blink Dagger? That Blink Dagger, if it came soon, if he had a successful first couple of minutes, if he got a couple of kills, maybe he would get that Blink Dagger, and an early Blink Dagger on a Shaker just breaks any snowballing kind of a lineup, right? But in this sort of a game, I don't see it happening. I don't see it coming anytime soon.
The wave pushed in on top. Gabby's farm continues to go without any sort of pressure. We haven't really seen Liquid look to do anything up top. It's very hard for them to make moves upon him. Anytime they do go, they'll have the rage. And you know that KP's always going to be quick with the TP to help out the mid or the top lane, whoever gets gone upon. So all in all, hard for Liquid to really push TNC out of this comfort that they hold on to this lead with. And I'm going to try and mess around with Mickey a little bit as he goes for this outpost. A quick glimpse to cancel the channeling. KP starts to force him away.
They can get it now as well.
It's Liquid, they don't have any way to stop it. We do see the chain go down. TNC claim the bottom outpost, and now Mickey's trying to punish. He goes in onto Tims. Tims goes straight for the TP out. They do have the stun ready to cancel him. We're quite for sweeping across. He'll pick up the second kill.
They got the 2 kills. And I think this is a perfect timing for Liquid to strike, because even though TNC are ahead, they still didn't get level 6 on their supports, and they didn't use that dome. Because of that, Leshrac was able to kill down March first and then help out with the Disruptor kill as well. Maybe TNC shouldn't have contested that outpost that heavily, but capturing 2 outposts as well, 10 minutes in, gives them a lot of experience, and considering how poor in experience the supports of Liquid are, I think that's strategically very solid plan.
Absolutely. That's now. Got to be careful of Armel. He goes for the Blink Dagger first this game, ready to get aggressive.
But there you go. That's another way of dealing with those power spikes that we talked about earlier. Getting that Blink Dagger on TA early on isn't really something that most TA players do. And the reason is simple. You get that Blink Dagger. If you don't find kills, if you don't make use of it, you fall off super heavily. So Armel, he has to be careful about the way he uses this Blink Dagger, and he needs to make some stuff happen. He needs to be the playmaker now.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. He knows that he's got heroes on his team that are able to fight with him. Tims is always going to be there with the grab. He can play aggressive, Armel, because of KP on the Abaddon. Having that Aphotic Shield each time to give him that extra bit of safety and burst if they do try and turn and disable the TA. Armel is going to start poking at this. Mickey very easily able to shift up into the strength and will back off. It does force him away from this tower though, and between the 3 of them, they've got a lot of pushing potential. This tier 1 starting to fall, and very unlikely Liquid's going to be able to do anything about this.
Well, Liquid will try to split push, and you can see Koipa already on the mid lane. However, Disruptor is there.
I do have the numbers though, Liquid. As you saw, Tiger posturing with a Fisher in case Tims did want to go for an aggressive play with the Glimpse Static Storm. Tims knew it wasn't to be the case. He holds on to his abilities and waits for a better time to use that catch.
Oh, Gabby,
he should be okay here with the rage. Is anyone going to TP over to help? It depends if Liquid want to try and dive, and they don't. Gabby's speeding up with the phase boots to get right back underneath the tower. As now KP looking towards Tiger, pushing him away from this mid. We'll see where TNC want to shift their focus towards. They definitely can look to go for the mid or the top tier 1. They're very powerful at the moment with this push.
TNC's lineup is making more and more sense, specifically now with the itemization from the TA. There aren't many top lane,
They got him. The damage is there. He's unable to TP out in time. I mean, TNC, they really are speeding things up.
There aren't many heroes who can allow you to speed things up, Owen. One of those is Wisp, Underlord, and Chen. Not only does he allow you to speed things up when it comes to taking objectives and pushing, but he gives you that recall ability, and you can move across the map and make these pushes and deep pushes much, much easier.
Yeah, just an excellent way to see TNC approach this game too. A 5K lead, slowly taking over map control.
I was
just
surprised.
Closing in the sort of the areas where Mickey can safely farm. It's a lot harder for the Morph to get out now.
I was surprised by the ease of execution of Liquid in that first game, and now TNC are doing very, very similarly.
Quite fun. It's going to be walked upon by the two, and then Gabby and Tim's looking to go on him. He's got the safety of Insania. Quick jump into the Disruptor. They're trying to back off a little bit, TNC. The rest of TNC will come across, but the angle's there for Boxy to get the Rolling Thunder across onto the three of them. Again onto Gabby. Gabby, he's out of mana and he's out of health. Gabby will fall. Tim's cannot escape either as they nuke him down in the pit. Liquid able to strike back, take the 2 lives of TNC.
I'm wondering, why did they go on to the high ground like that? They moved onto the shrine, onto the high ground without any vision, and they instantly got punished. They tried to go for the lash, but when you see Insania backing him up, you can't kill Koikwa. There's no way. They had similar problems in that first match too. Doom was constantly dooming the Drow Ranger instead of somehow getting on top of that Oracle and eliminating him and his defensive threat first.
It's very, very hard for TNC to move aggressively onto high ground situations if they don't have vision of the Oracle, right? They have to make sure they know exactly where Insania is.
Yep.
Otherwise, he's going to be there with the saves every time. We saw him do it in game 1, and that's the reason why Liquid are very happy to pick it up as that first pick here in game 2. Top lane, Gabby does manage to get in time, knocks a bit of money away from Liquid, getting the deny on the tower.
One of the bad things when you're playing a snowball type of a lineup is if you make a couple of mistakes, it just all falls apart. And when you're playing versus someone like Mickey's Morphling, you have to be careful to minimize your mistakes because he will just take any advantage and use it incredibly well.
I mean, if TNC slow down like sort of any little bit, this game is going to start to evolve into that territory that the panel talks about of it being a very, very good Morphling game. TNC, they've got to keep this pace up, and they certainly will be able to do so with Armel, continue to get such good timings on his items. He's pretty much got the money for the full Deso on top of the Blink. So this 15-minute Blink Desolator TA he's very, very ready to go. TNC have just got to start to gear up and get in position to go on the aggressive and be ready to use Armel's power to its full potential.
I love the stone as well, the Philosopher's Stone. Even though he will not use it, most likely it will be given to Disruptor or Chen. It is only 60 GPM, but when you have heroes such as Chen and Disruptor that can get super important items for your team, that's a really solid tier 2 item.
Oh, we'll see where Armel heads with this. As I say, he's definitely going to want to try and hit Liquid hard with this brilliant timing. At the same time, though, Tiger, Blink Dagger is done. So Tiger will be on the lookout for the counter plays. Obviously, with that Blink and Deso, the TA can hurt. But if Tiger's able to get on top of her, just lock her down with the full combo of the Shaker, there will be that opportunity to bring her down, because they do have a lot of chain stun between Tiger, Koifa, and Boxy. They can lock down that TA for a good amount of duration, easily break for the refraction if KP's not around with the Aphotic Shield say.
It's especially good versus Chen on all of his creeps too, and just when you need to defend your towers is one of the best items to get on this specific hero. I really like the way Morphling is itemizing too. He went for that Ghost first, instantly into the E-Blade. I think that E-Blade versus TA and Nyx is obviously really good, not only as an offensive item, but as an item that can save one of your allies. Together with that Oracle, they should have enough defensive power to sustain themselves throughout.
Oh, Tiger, no messing around, jumps in, finds the Chen and his army. And March. Upon the mech. Taking a little bit of time to take down, but they will get him. Jump in with the swashbuckle, but Boxy is trapped in the static storm, and already Armel. He got Insania on the back lines, and now they're going to go to work onto Boxy. Boxy being chased, another swashbuckle, gets him a little further away, but they'll chase this. The thunder strikes upon him. Boxy, can he run? He's going to have swashbuckle again in a second, but Armel's in. Gets him across the trees. A double kill for Armel as TNC turn up full force, and that power of this early Blink Deso TA is certainly felt by Liquid, and back to mid. They may even get a further capture. Glimpse is still on cooldown for 5 seconds. It's a lot of damage from the Thunderstrike, but not enough. Quakefor will live. Bottom lane, they're trying to set up immediately onto Armel, but Armel instantly blinks away from Tiger as Tiger tried to go in with that Enchant Totem initiation rather than the Fissure. Now he'll go for the Fissure, but Armel is too far away, so TA is able to escape safely.
Maybe that wasn't the best play from Armel to go back in because he was being called from Chen. Maybe they had an opportunity there to go for this Roshan. They still will do it though. They still go into the pit immediately. They know there's no echo. Boxy is still dead.
They've got the E-Blade. Okay, he's going to get aggressive, tries to nuke down Tims, but the heal is enough. The Hand of God saves Tims.
Look at that, Rosh is already gone. They're moving across this map so easily because of March and his Chen.
They're playing the timings perfectly with how good of a start that Armel's had. They're doing everything they need to objectively. Halberd's done for Gabby. They've got a lot of means to go. Mickey is still, as you mentioned, it's a great E-Blade timing, but is it going to be enough to help them slow down the plays? We'd already saw him try and like throw his combo down onto Tims, but
on the easiest target.
But with the Chen, the heals, it's just not enough burst. TNC have the means to stop Mickey from starting the fight off with a quick kill. It's just not going to happen.
Again, it's all about Boxy, I think. Like, he is so important in these next couple of fights. Taiga, yeah, he's a one-trick pony. He's that link into Echo, into Fissure. But Boxy, he's the one that needs to continue just keeping KP checked. He needs to continue disabling him, moving him away from this fight so that they can take down literally anybody.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
See where Liquid's going to look to go. They're still just in the mode of trying to slow this game down. Allow Mickey to get his second item online, but it's going to be so hard. Armel takes the top tier 2 tower. They continue to lose further map control, Liquid.
20 seconds for the outposts, and because of that we do see Lesh on the bottom lane, but top tier 3 is being attacked. Armel will back out. And it looks like outposts.
They're going to go for this Tiger. Jumps in. There's the combo. It's enough. They blow up Gabby.
That's really good.
No hesitation for Tiger to make the moves. Maybe even on the top lane, Liquid can find another. They'll throw KP up in the air for the duration of his borrowed time. The controls there from Insania. Thonic Shield will remove it. He's backing away. March heals him up with the mech. KP will live. They don't have enough to kill off the Abaddon. And meanwhile, over in the jungle, Mickey is able to nuke down a second. Tims is found.
I'm surprised by TNC. I'm surprised by Gabby and the fact that he didn't expect that gank to happen, because we did see Koikwa taking that outpost on the bottom lane. He's not going to try to do that on his own, right? And because of that, he could have expected that there's a shaker, at least a shaker nearby. Maybe he thought that they don't have enough nuke damage, but they most certainly do. With the Echo, with the E-Blade, they take him down easily. And Liquid, even though they're in a bad spot, they're finding they're finding small openings to make plays.
Yeah, they've got to be prepared for those plays and at least have KP sitting behind, or even March with the mech Hand of God, that bit of heal to offset the high amount of damage that comes out between the ES and the Morph. But now Mickey, he's going in aggressively, turns to the Lifestealer, is able to use the rage, jump forward, they'll stun down Gabby, but Gabby gets the rage off in time, goes to Tiger and Armel with his BKB, he's hit it through them all, he's doing a hell of a lot of damage, they've got to get away from this TA, he'll turn, trapped out, another meld in, quite for the trouble, Insania, he's in with a save, the false promise keeps Quakefor alive, Insania will lose his life for it though, and Liquid, they're still losing numbers, Armel stays on top of Insania, it's a triple kill for Armel, and TNC, they're not done yet, they'll look over towards Mickey, he hasn't got the waveform up for 5 seconds. The E-Blade buys him a bit of time. He turns with the open wounds, trying to slow down Gabby. He's shifting into strength. He goes for the zip TP
on the cliff,
and he'll get away. They don't have the vision or the TP cancel. Mickey will live, but TNC still finding 3 kills. Maybe more as Boxy. He was playing around the mid. He's got another swashbuckle.
They don't have glimpse. He's fine. He gets out. Boxy and Mickey survived, but that fight didn't look too great for them, considering that it was the morphing that initiated, and they fought on their own shrine. So they had help from that healing. They also had vision advantage, but still, they just couldn't fight off this huge power spike from Abaddon, from Aegis, TA, and the Knight.
I mean, it's just so hard to deal with Armel. This Blink Deso, BKB timing, it's been ridiculous. He's from sort of just mastering that mid lane to taking control of the entire match.
They need more.
It's so hard to deal with the TA. They've got to throw everything on her. But it's the way that Armel's been playing these fights. He's been so careful about how he commits. He always waits for sort of the slam combo to be thrown down on someone else, and then he's in with the counterplay. Jumps in with the BKB, and Liquid have nothing other than a false promise to try and save someone. But we saw in that fight, because of how strong Armel is, he's just going to kill you through the false promise, you'll pop at the end of it, and then it'll kill the Oracle as well.
They need more. They need at least that butterfly completed on the Morphlink, and after that they also need maybe a Shiva's on Leshrac, maybe something that's going to allow him to survive these fights, because as you just noticed, false promise, even through that, they just collapsed on this Leshrac. It wasn't only the TA, but she dealt a significant amount of damage to take it down in the end.
That's another tier 2 tower. TNC's funds continue to rise. Gabby back to just focusing on finishing up his next few items, getting that Mjolnir and the Basher done.
The Basher into Abyssal is so good this game too. Gives him a little bit of reach, so he isn't kited around all the time, but it looks like we'll see a smoke from TNC in a really awkward spot. Usually that's warded by the Radiant, but they understand that they have complete control of the map.
Ooh. Very, very quick with a blink. Gets himself away from that meld from Armel. Armel, he's still going to try and chase this one on a little bit. He's got the trap, so TPs are coming in from Liquid. They know they're going to be forced to fight. The Vision's there to grab him in. Tiger's got the Ghost Scepter. He'll stay alive for a little bit. Static Storm's down. Mickey's got to get himself out of it. The BKB's popped by Armel as he'll look to commit onto Tiger. Tiger will fall. Can they go for more? Another trap slow onto Mickey. Boxy's going to look to rev at the Rolling Thunder. They're looking for Armel. Armel blinks away. They'll turn for the easier targets. March is in trouble. A shield is upon him. Can they keep the channel alive? They cannot. Liquid get the March kill. TNC, they still want to fight this though. Another glimpse. Dragging back Mickey. Armel's eyeing up the perfect chance to get in. He's got Gabby as well to back him up. They've got the numbers, TNC. They surround Mickey. He's been silenced up by the passive of KP. Mickey's in trouble. False promise in play from Insania. It buys him time, but TNC, again, they're just going to chase through it. They stay forward onto Insania. Insania is dead. The rest of Liquid, can they escape? Another catch. Tim's with the glimpse back. Mickey's in trouble. He has waveform. TNC, they're going to dive Liquid right up towards the tier 3s. They want to go towards the base. Insania bites back. He's scared that his cause are in trouble, and that will stop TNC for now.
Tim's is such a god on this Disruptor. Not only does he manage to catch Shaker in that fight, but after surviving the initial shotgun attempt from the Morphling, he places that Static Storm in such a great way that prevents Liquid from initiating on them. And Liquid, they wanted to fight because they understood that Armal just lost his Aegis. It was a perfect opportunity for them to take a good fight. They were about to jump everyone, but that Static Storm prevented them from having those extra 2-3 seconds in which Boxy could have stunned someone after the Leshrac duels.
Yeah, these fights just continue to look so hard for Liquid. They've got to find a perfect jump. Pressure's on Tiger to make the big plays. They head up to the high ground, out of vision, and we'll go for the smoke movement out of the map. We'll see who they find, who they can catch. At the moment, TNC pretty split up. They'll be able to get some dewarding done on the way out. See how prepared TNC are for this.
Basically, they want to at least ward the side of the map that's near Roche. They want to have some vision around it. They need to do this smoke, not only to get a pick off, but to just get out on the map, because right now they're constrained completely. The vision that they have at the moment is completely defensive, and TNC is just spreading across the map and farming everything they can.
TNC, they are now ready themselves. They're showing KP in the mid lane. Obviously not the target that Liquid want to jump on, and they won't. They're hesitating, waiting to get some more information from TNC as TNC start to bring the rest of them towards mid. Butterfly's done for Mickey. So a hefty amount of damage output on this Morph. Will it be enough with Mickey? He's been caught. They have to use the false promise immediately to buy him safety. Insania's in trouble. The burst for the offense kills him off. Insania's dead. And he's dead for 60 of the buyback on the last defense. He cannot get back into the action. Mickey will be able to get away. He's trying to turn towards KP. Another glimpse from Tim's. Continues to play around with the Morph. Liquid's got to be careful. Without Insania and without that false promise, Mickey cannot overcommit.
TNC's heroes, it looked like Mickey's E-Blade is going to be very important for him, or at least very impactful in the mid-game, but so far every single target he goes on with that E-Blade shotgun combo, it just doesn't work. There's Abaddon to save them, there's a Chen as well with the heals, with the mech, with the ulti. I'm just afraid that he needs more. He needs one more item at least, but he's always one step behind. That's the problem. He even does these morphs perfectly well. He goes in, turns into the Nyx with the rage. He tries to fight with that spell immunity, but it's still not enough. And this is another Aegis for Armel.
Now, cheese, of course, for TNC. They've got the means to go high ground now for sure. As Liquid, they've struggled the last few times. Overall, 27 minutes in 10-10. I mean, it's been very back and forth. Not an incredibly bloodthirsty game, but just consistently TNC have been the ones to just maintain this lead. and continues to make the game very hard for Mickey to truly get into. His farm's still good on the Morphling. It's just not comparable though to like Armel's TA, now level 20, that extra minus for meld armor reduction. He's just going to clean up targets in a couple of hits.
You can also see that he has queued up an MKB already instantly after seeing that butterfly from the Morphling. Paladin Sword is being found as well by Armel. Probably not going to replace anything with that. Perhaps you can give it to either Abaddon or the Nyx.
BKB for Quake, so now can, it's another core that now could go forward, not worry too much about having to be saved immediately by Insania. As Insania at the moment, he's got his work cut out. The false promises are so important.
There's a smoke, I think I heard. Yeah, from TNC. They understand that they hit this power spike in which, even though Lesh Koikwa, he did complete his BKB, they don't have the necessary damage. They don't have the necessary damage to take down the TA or the Nyx before those BKBs or rages are procced.
We'll see what they can find here, Mickey. That's the perfect catch. He does manage to get the shift on in time, uses the E-Blade defensively to try and buy himself some time to stop Armel from hitting away or turn into the lifestealer, use the raid, go for the waveform and the TP. A heads-up play from Mickey gets him out of danger.
Mid lane. Can they take down Abaddon? He has his ult, he has Aghanims and Greater Fairy Fire. This is not a kill that they can take.
Quite for a little low on the mana as well, so we'll have to let him be.
Really great. Well played by Mickey there. I believe one of the things that maybe TNC could have done better is position that troll a little bit further away to catch Morphling once again, because I believe they used only one web on him.
Coming out here, Liquid. Again, they've got to be fully aware where the entirety of TNC is before they do look to try and get aggressive themselves. TNC just continuing to own the map and get stronger and stronger. Abyssal Ballet going to be the next stream for Gabby.
You can see that the net worth is still only 8k ahead for TNC. It's not really a huge difference, but there you go, 9k now. They're just utilizing the map a little bit better, getting all the bounty runes now as well. 13 minutes in, constricting them inside of their base. And these items that Liquid has just purchased, like a BKB on Koikwa, you want to be fighting with them, you want to be getting some pick-offs, but you can't.
Sims being nuked down a little bit. Mickey's thinking about going in. He's going to turn into the Disruptor, use the Thunder Strike. Now turns towards Armel. The Fisher not there in time. Armel's able to blink away the stolen glimpse used by Mickey to trap Tim's in. He'll drop the status of himself, but already they've killed off the Disruptor. Box is going to roll forward for more. Armel tried to go forward, but a quick disarm from Insania stops him from being able to have a go onto the Shaker.
That's a really good play there by Mickey. He turned into the Disruptor, he held that Thunder Strike on him for vision, then used the Glimpse to kill him off. Also dodged the Static Storm with the waveform. Really quick thinking, and overall they can't really get any better picks than that Disruptor. If he's out of position, caught, warding, or trying to catch someone, perhaps you can kill him. The rest of them, they're too big.
Still yet to break towards the high ground though, TNC. Liquid able to maintain this sort of control that's buying them more and more time. The pressure is always going to be there for Mickey to try and carry this one through as the Morph. It's a solid Morph game, but it's not easy at all when he's playing from behind as he is. He continues to get in the big items. He's 3,200 in towards having that Satanic.
Yeah, Titan Sliver as well, Satanic plus Titan Sliver, that's going to help him quite a lot when it comes to that status resistance. The problem is TNC, they're slowly moving towards that Aghanims on Disruptor, and he doesn't care about the status resistance. That Static Storm is still going to have that full duration and full damage on him.
Just trying their best to push out the waves. Make sure that they're not stuck in a situation where TNC have all three going in towards the high ground.
They're doing a really decent job. You can see also Taiga always following Koikwa. In case that someone initiates on top of him, they can follow up with the Shaker and perhaps even get a counter kill. These two are a tandem that works really well together when it comes to out-pushing these lanes and creating some space for Mickey so that he can get towards that Satanic, because as you mentioned before, Morphling counters Nyx later on in the game, definitely, but he needs to be ahead. and he's 3K behind at the moment.
And there's going to be a lot of scary catch from TNC. You can see Gabby, Abyssal Blade's done. Armel was queuing up the Hex. He had a lot of money into it. So that Hex is almost certainly going to be done for the TA by the next time a full fight kicks off. And as if TNC don't look for one a little sooner, actually, as TNC got nearly 4 of them here. Heading towards the outpost. Gabby leading the way at the back of the smoke. The smoke will dispel. He knows that they're in there. He's going to pop the rage. Quickly, Mickey responds. Turns to the Lifestealer, takes the rage himself, and Liquid will get out of there. They do not want to mess with TNC outside of their base.
They were hoping maybe one hero moves in, and that's not a hero that's not an Ix, and then perhaps they can pounce on him. But when you see an Ix coming out of smoke the way he did, instantly turning on rage, they understand there's more heroes and they bail.
Back to the high ground for now for Mickey. Boxy.
He's so afraid. You can see even if he gets right outside of his doorsteps, right, he needs to pop that rage. He's just afraid of the Disruptor. He's afraid of this catch, and partly because he has no BKB, he has no Lincolns, and now there's a Hex that you just mentioned as well on Gabby.
If either Gabby or Armel gets that catch, it's all going to be on Insania's positioning to make sure that that kill is not an easy one for TNC at the moment. Insania just standing inside the base, being there to back up Mickey if Mickey gets dove upon. But TNC, they're out on the map. They're hunting for targets around. Koifa, BKB and a TP out, will save him. There's nothing to go through it as of yet. The Abyssal Blade would have done it, but Gabby couldn't quite get in range.
He was really close with that Abyssal Blade, but not close enough. Boxy, he has nothing to dodge this glimpse with.
It's the Static Storm. Armel's in as well. He'll try for the TP. The miss and the miss and the miss. There's a fair few uphill misses right there as Boxy.
Those misses.
The high ground saves him. He's out of there, as you say, the Halberd, it does it. He's away.
Halberd and the high ground as well.
He just couldn't land those hits, Armel.
Yeah, he also played it really well. When you're playing versus Disruptor in a situation such as that one, you can't run away a lot, because if you run too far away, he will glimpse you and have enough time to turn on that Static Storm with the kinetic field.
Koifa, he's hiding, he's juking. They haven't quite caught on to where he is. He's going for the TP out. Do they see him in time? They don't. Koifa able to sneak away in the trees.
This is what he has to be doing, and he's doing it phenomenally well. You can see that TNC, they're not finding any ways of reaching or even reaching high ground. And that's because of the way Mickey and Koifa are splitting up the map, constantly ratting, constantly making them move and try to get these pickoffs, which they're failing at.
He wants to try and punish Tims. Tims was trying to push out low, and Glimpse back will do it, but there we have again Mickey turns into the Disruptor, uses his own Glimpse against him. KP isn't in time to help out. Koifa still trying to commit for this. Does commit with the stun. They're going and they quick zip forward with the swashbuckle. They'll cut down Tims, the Disruptor, gone for 50 seconds. TNC unable to turn the fight despite bringing in the team here to look for an opportunity.
Can they fight
still
though?
try something. There's a jump forward. There, the Abyssal, they're in onto Insania. The focus priority is perfect. As the Oracle is taken away, there's no safety now for the rest of the team. Mickey, he's got to be very careful. He's trying to go towards March, but March is pretty tanky and too tanky for Mickey to kill immediately. Buyback, Tiger in with a two-man slam. Have they got the follow-up? The Fisher is in and out. No, Gabby and Armel are still alive. Armel's falling low. The Thunder's right, taking him down. He's stunned up again. The enchant turn of Tiger, offering a lot of control, but Armel's backing away. Blink out, Armel is fine. Buyback now for Tims. They're looking to commit everything into this fight. TNC, they're surrounded, making the Static Storm. Tims with the buyback controls the Morphling. He's still alive though, making the safety play from Insania, giving him that magic resistance. As the Morph, he's going for the TP out. He's going to make it away. Insania will fall, but that buyback from Insania, giving that safety. Mickey gets out. The rest of Liquid will escape.
What an insane team fight. What this Abaddon, man. If he wasn't there with that Aghanim's with his ulti turned on, Armel falls, Nikes as well, most certainly, but because he runs in that way, he saves both of them. Also Boxy, preventing them from taking down Morphling super easily just by rolling through them. Nikes had to infest the TA. You can see it right here. He goes into Armel because of Boxy. He's afraid. Boxy is controlling the TA and all of them in the background. Man, this Pango player is ridiculously good. Then you have the Disruptor buyback, you have Insania buyback. Both of them reach this fight. They use their ultis and have a lot of impact. I believe Insania saves Morphling, Disruptor as well, separates this fight in two with his Static Storm. Just, I don't know.
Top plays here from both teams. committing everything in this attempt to keep each other safe. Back in though, whoa!
Oh! The hex.
I mean, the double hex, they've got 2 right now on KP and Armel.
One didn't work the last fight, by 2.
I mean, Mick, he's not got buyback. He's 100 gold short. So this is a big 70-second window for TNC to push in, and they do push fast, of course, between Gabby and Armel.
They push
They
super
take towers
fast.
quickly.
Oh, there's the repair kit. That's something.
Right.
Is it enough?
They
I
do
don't think so.
so much damage though, TNC. They're fighting through it. There is a fortification. This is a pretty grim 50 seconds though that Liquid's going to try and hold on. The first hex used. Boxy, he's trying to roll away. He's been silenced. Insania's there with the backup, keeping him safe, healing him back up. Swashbuckler go across, look at the disarm, but there is the Abyssal Blade. He's still fine. It's very hard to go on anyone with Insania being alive. As long as Oracle lives, it's hard for TNC to kill the cause.
Rush is up, and that's the 3rd rush as well. I think it's much safer, much more disciplined for TNC to go back, take the shrine, perhaps go into the Rosh pit. But they will fight them. They have a really good team fight around that Roshan. Remember, Boxy and the hero itself, this Pangolier, is one of the best heroes to have in the pit. So if they're not careful, things can turn. 10 seconds for Morphling.
I mean, they've got to move so quickly. Look at TNC.
It's already gone.
They take this in a matter of seconds. No way that Liquid can get here in time. See which way the blessing is going to go.
Who got it?
Who did get it? Where have we got it? Wait,
who took it?
Where did he go?
Abba already had his, so it's not him. Oh, of course.
I didn't even see Tim's there pick it up, but yeah, Tim's has it. Tim's now with a free Aghanim Static Storm, another thing to really throw a spanner into the works. You saw last time the option to use like the E-Blades, the BKBs, it's not going to be there.
The E-Blade, most importantly, it was saving him so many times in a row on that Morphling. He was also saving his teammates, and now there's a blink, there's a glimmer on Disruptor, and plus that Aghanim Scepter. They must know though. They understand this is happening, but what can they do? They have Oracle. Insania has to have an insane game right now. He has to have an insane game sense and positioning. He needs to be completely back, and he needs to think about how he's going to be able to save the target that's static stored.
Well, we saw Insania keep his cool in game 1 as the Oracle and make these game-winning saves happen.
It's such a harder game, though.
It really is. The difficulty has been amped up immensely, especially with TNC now having this 20k lead. All the benefits of that Roshan kill as well, ready to gear them towards this next fight that they'll certainly want to look for.
Okay, he's going for that tilt rapier. Guys, you're not doing anything. I need to carry this myself. I'm getting that rapier. I mean, I can't blame him. It really looks like in these team fights, he's the only one dishing any sort of damage because everything else gets negated by this Abaddon. He moves in with his Aghanims versus his Slash. He literally just stands next to Leshrac and keeps on spamming that.
Firing the miscoils out. Yeah, that extra little bit of burst heal. Combined with obviously the auras and the fact that March on this chair himself, he offers so much burst save as well.
I like the idea from Liquid, but I think it's coming late because TNC is so close to their base and creeps are pushing in. They want to go towards the top lane. They want to go around that tier 2, but it's not going to work. They're already here.
He's going to go in. He's ready to jump on a target with that Abyssal Blade, seeing if he can find anyone. KP shows in the mid lane. They're pushing in the 2 lanes at the same time. The space is there for Armel to start going under the racks. Liquid's got to do something quick if they want to put a stop to it. They get the disarm. Gabby, he jumps in. Abyssal Blade onto Boxy. Boxy's pretty tanky though with the shield crash buff and the safety of Insania as Boxy's fine. Revs up the Rolling Thunder. He cancels it for now. They'll wait out the rage of Gabby as TNC back off. They don't get the racks for now. Another use of the repair kit starts to heal the melee back up.
I'm just looking at Tims. I'm just waiting for Tims to pounce. That's all. Whatever TNC is doing when they're pushing high ground, it's all a distraction. You just have to keep in mind there's always this Disruptor in the background, ready and waiting with the Blink Dagger, with the Glimpse. He should have enough time to just jump in and catch them off guard, especially with that Blinks plus Glimpse game.
Walking in aggressively, they do manage to separate them. The Fisher will block them off. Gabby's going to look to commit, jumps over the wall with the Abyssal Blade onto Quakefer. Insania, he's used the false promise to try and help his Leshrac out, but already Quakefer's taking a hell of a lot of damage. Have they got the heals to keep him safe? They should, though. They haven't. It's not enough heals. Quakefer still falls. He's got a buyback. See if he wants to use it. Boxy hitting them all with the Thunder, trying to slow them down. Another Fisher from Tiger. It makes it a little harder for TNC to reach the melee racks. They'll turn their attention towards Mickey, turning into the Life Stealer, utilizing the wounds and the rage to punch back, but they cannot force them back off. These racks will fall. TNC, they claim one full set. They're ready to move on to the other. Quakefer, he's going to have to buy back by the looks of it. There's now Boxy.
Tims, he's limbered.
He's looking for that jump. He's looking for that static zone. There it is. He's in. He catches the Morphling. Morphling being sent there with Sadie with the magic resistance helping him out. And zip back into the Hex. Can they save the Morphling? Cannot. Mickey will go down as well. Both cores dead. They've got buybacks available.
Repair kit's there.
They're trying to rely this as their last repair kit charge. There's the buyback from Quake, but Boxy continues to try and play around with the whole lineup of TNCs, trying to protect Mickey's buyback, but the pushing power of TNC is too much. The tier 3's down. Hex onto Quake for again another save, and Sadia trying his best. Target goes for the echo, but it's not enough because the rage was out in time for Gabby. Gabby's ready to turn. Bash out on the Quakefer. Quakefer needs help, but he needs it now. BKB and the yours up the armors on top of the Quakefer, fully like the false promise again. Insania saves the ledge. They turn the buyback's out for Tiger. He's in for Mickey. He nukes down the Aegis. Armel's dead the one. Gabby back up with the Abyssal. He's on Insania. The Ghost Scepter. Insania's able to step away. Gabby's in on the front of it all. The rolling thunder from Boxy is going to come round again. Will clip onto the KP about, and Gabby's out with that long duration of rage. As Boxy, he jumps in, another disarm onto the Lifestealer.
Tiger with the four-man Fisher.
The slap, he's looking for KP, but inside the Lifestealer goes, taking KP back to safety. A jump, Tiger, he's in with the chance, but they turn onto Tiger. Boxy in trouble as well. Quake's trying to head in, but they've lost Tiger. He's dead without buyback. Quake's
no buyback
as well, dead for 2 minutes. They're down to the last 3 Liquid as Mickey. He's backing off. The Abyssal, the Static Storm tips again.
GG.
And that is it for game 2. GG is called, and TNC will equalize the series 1-1 now.
What an insane performance and what an insane series this is turning out to be. That first game, Liquid, they just crushed them with their own strategy, with their own style, and TNC just did exactly the same to Liquid in the second game.
It was always going to be hard for Liquid that game from the start. Armel, just an absolute beast, and he just grew to an immense size off the back of that laning stage. It was so hard for them to deal with the power of the TA. They tried their best, Liquid. You saw Insania doing so many clutch plays to keep the game going with these constant saves as the Oracle, but it wasn't enough. TNC just too far ahead.
It was such a difficult game for them. It was such a difficult game for them, but they stayed cool until the end. And the way Taiga played these last couple of defenses, Liquid, the way they played these defenses in the end, just makes me think that they truly are a top tier team. The way Morphling was saving that buyback until they dove on the tier 4s, and Taiga separates them with a really, really good fissure multiple times in a row. I'm just amazed, and I'm looking forward to the game 3.
But it wasn't enough. TNC just that much of a step ahead in this game. Their all 3 core performance is fantastic. KP, he was so farm. The itemization, getting these hexes, Abyssal Blades. TNC knew exactly what to do to smash Liquid in the game, this second game, and they certainly did. It's fantastic, of course, for us viewers. Does mean we are going to get that decisive game 3 now between TNC and Liquid. Who's going to take it? It's hard to tell after that dominating game from Liquid in game 1, but that heads up just domination from the lanes onwards from TNC in game 2. Game 3 is going to be crazy. Don't go anywhere. We'll have it soon for you.